Okay, it's the last weekend in June, and we're going to take a look at the orchard. So with our pear tree first, not much news on the pear tree front, still growing. Fruit's getting good size, and yeah, not much going on there. We're haven't seen any of the problems oozing or whatnot with that. No fire blight, so we're all good. Now the cherry tree is very exciting. So with this particular variety, I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's like Bing. The cherries get very dark when they're ripe. They all look red, but they're not all ripe. So it's a little tricky, and I'm amazed that the birds haven't really came as much as I thought, because as you can see, this year with the pruning, the cherry, the fruit themselves are very exposed, and I would have expected the birds to have picked all this clean by now, but I guess they're still waiting. So if we look at the cherries, you can see the birds have been in here eating, but some of them look a little bit reddish or light red, some of them red, fully red, but the ones that are truly ripe are, let me find some of this here. There we go. So this is a truly ripe one. It's dark red, as opposed to one like this. And if you put them together, you can kind of see. So this is red, but not ripe. This is dark, starting to get blackish and ripe. And these are very delicious. And sweet now. Before, they get dark when they're just red. They're okay, but they still have that a little tartness to it. So it's tricky to wait until they're just right, but it's so much easier to do when you can see them all easily. When it's last year, we know normally you can see this one, but you can't see these ones over here very easily, so it's hard to see them side by side and whatnot. But anyway, so some of them are ready. Patches of them, like this patch up in here is ready. This part is. This part's kind of. And some of them over here are not, and some of them are. So basically, it's just kind of right now at this stage, they're not all ready for sure. So it'd be kind of going through, like, I don't see many of these ones that are dark. That's why first we didn't even notice that some of them were, because it's just certain spots. I can tell that the ones up on the tip there are, and these ones here are. So it's kind of a little back and forth. I did notice some weird thing going on here where this part right here, all these cherries are dead, and the leaves, and so are those. So those two nodules are like that. And there's actually another spot there and there. There's a few spots, all on this main branch there that comes out. But there's a spot here, there, and over there that have that same weird thing where everything's dying back. And I don't know what that is. But we can see it again here. All the cherries are dried up, and the leaves too. So I'm thinking I might come in and, plus this kind of hangs low anyway, snip some of this off, maybe take it off here, maybe take that off there, and just get rid of the whole thing. Because it's here, I can kind of see one cluster, two clusters, three clusters. And so I don't, if there's something spreading here, I definitely want to get rid of it, because I do not want to, it to go back further. Now, honestly, this whole limb here is kind of not the best limb in the world for access for long term, but I could work with it. It's okay when the cherry hangs down over the, the bed there, where I don't have to go back and forth. But obviously, with this grass under here, it's very difficult to mow when the cherry tree hangs down to about, 3 feet from the ground here, and especially this part here, 2 feet from the ground. And there's a bird trying to eat my cherries right now. Okay. So anyway, so soon we'll definitely start picking some and harvesting them, and then just kind of keeping an eye on the rest. So it looks like there's, like I said, some that are ready for harvest. Most of them still are not. Even though it looks red, it's not that dark red. So anywho, and then we got some stuff growing in here, which I'll get rid of. because we don't want to keep this center nice and open. So anyway, all right. Anyway, just excited about the cherries. Moving on, the apple tree right there. No big news. Haven't noticed any problems. Honestly, I haven't looked at it that much though. Thing when there's no fruit, don't really pay as much attention to it. Here's the peach tree. Now you're starting to get into the season where the peach and the apple are touching, and the peach and the pear are overlapping. So it's kind of all goes into one big thing. But we can see that the peaches are very nice size there. You do probably pretty soon go through and do another thinning. You can see how these are pretty close, and they're fairly close together. I don't want them that close together. I want to have more space. And definitely take this one out. This one's a little tight in the spot there. And come on. Well, this one does not want to come off, but it's got, goodness, all kinds of problems. There's a gooey, you see that little crystal structure there? It's gooey. I got all kinds of little bites and whatnot on it. Plus, it's got the little stuff. So, anyway, we'll get rid of that. And all right. Anyway, so definitely go through and thin some of those up, just to remove any ones that are looking bad, or just the ones that are getting thick. And we're looking, but everything else looks pretty good. I did notice that that clear stuff was the stuff that I'd seen on before. I told you about a couple weeks ago on some of these, and it's just like a clear jelly that looks like the fruit kicks out, and when it's gotten damaged or stuff. But hopefully that won't affect anything inside, and we will go from there. So the peach tree or pear tree, just same, it's growing, and not a whole lot of difference. Looks like there's one here that I can thin out. If I can snap it off. Alright, that way we don't have two there. Keep the pears single. And like I said, or like I've said before, pear trees are really low maintenance. There's not a lot of problems with them. They're pretty solid, which is good. They're not as delicious as the peaches and the apples to me, but they're a lot easier maintenance. And then our apricot tree. So I did thin some out, cut a little bit of the tall branches, and basically thinned a bit. As much as I just decided I'm just going to live with this, and so we've got lots of fruit up there. And it will probably be another month before these guys are ready to harvest, but everything else is looking good on them. We won't have any more rains and stuff, so we won't have to worry about this, the skin problems getting worse. And I have noticed that a lot of the skin stuff is actually on the stuff that's down lower here. So this guy here and here, they're covered in them. But when we look up, they're not nearly as bad. And I'm guessing that's probably because these guys down here, let me step back. So the ones on the bottom there, where we can easily see them, when the rains came, they probably fell in the leaves, and then the stuff up there, it dried after. Once it dried. But these guys here, it dried, but then the leaves from the top probably dripped the moisture onto them, and just being at the bottom of the tree and having all the top of the tree, slowly drip its moisture down. Maybe that's what happened. I mean, that's why these guys are so much more damaged. I mean, this one is like covered, where, like I said, the ones up there are very clear. So anyway, we'll figure it out. But that is it. That's where we're at for apricots. Finally got them thinned out. Pear trees, no problem. Peach tree is probably going to go back and do a little thinning, final thinning, and then cherry tree start to do the first harvest, and then probably a week or two we'll do the rest of it. So exciting times coming for cherries. Thanks for watching.